We're talking video talk. 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 We're talking video talk.
Yeah.
We're talking video talk.
Bitch, we're talking with our boy Willie. You know he's got the shit. He's dancing real hard. I know you'll never get sick of it. He's got that tee on, got that long sexy hair. You know he's about to take his shirt off, his abs so bare. He's got a six-pack. They call him Suburban Commando. He's a big motherfucker and he's dropping it low. He's about to slap that ass, baby. About to slap it so hard. You ever seen this motherfucker running naked through your backyard?
Hey, 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 hey! Hello, 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 everybody! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video talk. I'm Willie, and I'm here to talk you about some videos. How the hell have you been? Freakazoid85, Halloween Jack, and Hebo is in the house, and maybe 20 other people too, so it's a live chat, so remember to use that chat. And also, if you're watching this as a recording, you may use the comment section to ask anything about this bad boy that I have for this tonight, for you guys tonight. Hey, Lina Marchetti, good afternoon. No, yeah, yes, good afternoon to you, Lina Marchetti, but it is 8 o'clock in the evening here in the back good old Finland, and tomorrow I am still on holiday, so it's a holiday week, so I'm not too stressful about the coming Monday. Anybody else on vacation on this glorious August? Yeah. So this has been a long time coming, this box, but I wanted to take my time to really watch everything on this, but unfortunately I didn't completely had the time to read the booklet, but nevertheless I know a lot about what's on the booklet. So this live broadcast is all about this Bruce Lee Golden Harvest box set that I have here, and this was released by Arrow Video, and it got out. Its street day was in about a month ago or something. It was in June, yeah, but it was also released as this standard limited edition box, and also on Arrow Video limited store exclusive edition. But I have the basic edition of this fantastic box, and if you get interested on this box when I'm talking about this, there's a link to the Amazon to get your own copy of this. Unfortunately, the Amazon box is already sold out, so but I don't think I think this is actually maybe somewhat nicer, this red design. I don't know. How about you guys? Do you prefer the yellow design or the red design? This is the yellow design, but here I have the red design. But basically contents is the same. Artwork is a little bit different, as we can see on this picture here. So the films have different artwork. That is the major difference between the Arrow Video store exclusive and this standard exclusive edition. Next 2 weeks on holiday, says Hebo. I'm very happy for you, Hebo. And also Slake Plisken says, are we discussing the legend of the ghost of Bruce Lee smashing all Arrow shipments containing the yellow box version? Yeah, there's been some debate about whether or not the Arrow Video boxes come intact, but perhaps I got lucky, but my box was completely intact. There were absolutely no dents or scratches or anything on this bad boy. So maybe I'm just a lucky fuck, but I don't recall ever having to have on posted some busted up Arrow Video products. I don't know. I'm a lucky fuck. Halloween Jack says, got myself that version of the box from Amazon. Hope you got some credits from it too. Hey, did you do that? Oh, by the way, I seem to recall that now. But because I already did a special on my Finnish channel going through this box and Bruce Lee in general, but when I did that, I just had this box for a few days, so I didn't have nearly enough time to go through everything that is on this set, but now I have gone through this, and I promise to do this when I really have gone through all this extensive piece of magnificent 2020s video releasing art boxes, or what do you call it. But yeah, hope you got some credits from it to Amazon. Amazing box set, and that red version is also better in my taste. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know why, but yeah. And as we can see when we go deeper into this, I think the artwork in the single films on this box set, I think it's a lot better than in the exclusive box. And I remember when I ordered this and I got this from mail and I opened it and I was like, man, I was sure that I ordered the Arrow Video exclusive set, but I went to the Arrow Video store and checked it out, and no, I did not. I did order the red box, and they were the same price. So I'm not complaining. Totuus elokuvasta says Bruce Lee is cool, but God damn it, why does it fucking chat have to put this heart over this? I cannot see what is the word behind the goddamn son of a bitch. Buck Angel film. Bruce Lee is cool, but when do you review Buck Angel films? Well, are these some sort of weird porno films or something? Mr. Totuus elokuvasta? Pyllyfilms. Totuus elokuvasta likes butt films. Buck Angel films. Okay, so maybe we start from this box set, and yeah, like I showed you, this is the box set. This is the red edition of the box set, and yep, I will take off this. What do you even call this goddamn thing? It's a J card, or is it special J card? But this, in the usual fashion, it tries to fit everything that is on this box in this little piece of cardboard, and it is a futile effort for sure. But yeah, let's put that aside and see the glorious box all in itself. Hey, by the way, I think I have it the wrong way. God damn it! Now it starts to look right. So here we have the glorious box set, all, and like you can see, there are no significant dents on this sucker. And for a good measure, I will show also again this other version. So that yellow one is the Arrow Video store exclusive, and this is the regular version. And yeah, inside we have different artwork on the films. But enough of that. Let's go to the innards of this thing. Yeah, put on the unboxing camera. Backslip is this thing called. Okay, let's call this a backslip then. Johan Lustig asks, what's top 3 of Bruce Lee movies? I think if you watch the broadcast, you will find that out. Okay, so all these films comes in their one special, this kind of like a dicky pack. And all these things have a separate artwork. First up we have Big Boss, the Big Boss. Okay, I will shut down the fucking manual fucking focus. Now, okay, Big Boss here, and here you see the backwards, and we get some sort of advertisement here, Lover's Lane, probably some sort of crappy slasher, and inside we have the original artwork of this. So as you see, I think this is a pretty outstanding artwork. And also, let's see in the same way, let's see the Big Boss the Mandarin cut. Now we are not talking about mandarin fruits, we are talking about the language Mandarin. And I will shortly explain you what is this Mandarin cut. But as well here too, I think the artwork is pretty outstanding. But if I had to choose, I would certainly choose this regular version. I watched recently Enter the Dragon again and didn't remember it's kind of Bond-like agent story disguised as a martial arts movie. Do you agree? Well, I do, and I think the makers too agree. The story was heavily inspired by the James Bond movie You Only Live Twice. The Stirling Silliphant, who was probably the writer of Enter the Dragon, he has admitted that, and he took notes from James Bond movies when he was writing this thing. Okay. So Big Boss is a story about this peasant Chinese guy who comes working in Thailand. Was the place Thailand? And he comes to visit his like relatives and goes to working this ice factory. But Bruce Lee is this peasant guy, and he didn't know that the evil manager of this ice factory is using this factory as a facade for heroin smuggling. And sure enough, one day these couple of guys accidentally run into this heroin shipment inside the ice blocks, and this boss gets them killed, and Bruce Lee and the people, they are wondering, okay, where these outdoor guys go? Where they vanished? And then they go ask the boss, did you see them? Yeah, we see them. They went drinking and to the ladies. Never mind, they will be back if maybe they go back. But in the actual sense, they have killed these guys. And then after some turning events, Bruce Lee gets assigned as a manager, as a little boss of this ice factory company. And then he almost gets seduced by all the ladies and booze, but then he breaks his oath of not ever fighting again and starts to kick ass. And this leads to the fantastic final confrontation with this evil boss of the factory. Classic stuff. I really do like Big Boss, and I think this was the first how would you say, first less cut Bruce Lee film that I ever saw. Okay, I forgot this. I don't have the Big Boss on VHS. I used to have the Men of Action version on VHS, but it was released in Finland. It was released on Men of Action label, and it was the uncut USA version. And here in this set we have the original uncut Hong Kong version, and then we have the alternative English version, which has one scene cut where the Bruce Lee sticks his finger on the guy's, stomach and crushes the bones inside the stomach, and blood pours from under the guy's shirt. And then we get the new Mandarin cut, and this is a weird one because this was one of these kind of holy grails of Asian cinema, because this Mandarin cut was lost like 30 years, 40 years. It was last time seen in some sort of Bruce Lee expose in London in 79 or 78, something crazy like that. And people who saw it back then they went back to the regular version of Big Boss and then, hey man, there's this a lot of extra scenes in this cut, but where is it? So after all these years, nobody had seen this Mandarin cut anywhere, and then the Arrow Video guys who were assembling this box, so they called to the Golden Harvest and, hey, do you have in your archive, do you have the print? Oh, let us see, we get back to you. And hey, we have this cut, so you wanna transfer it? Hell yeah, we wanna transfer it. And yeah, it is only a film print, so it's pretty scratched, pretty battered and beaten up. And while this thing was restored from the original negatives, this was restored from the, the cinema print, 35 print, which was kind of like worn out. And this cut here uses this 4K transfer and intercuts these new Mandarin scenes in the film, so you can watch it, but you can also watch it as the it says here, unrestored raw scan of the Mandarin cut, and it's in full HD, but it is also possible to do that if you enjoy like grindhouse style picture. Willie, you are the big boss. Yes, Totu Selkos, I am the big boss. Seems on the yellow box also those artworks are different. Just notice. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And I think they are not equally good as these things here. I'm not saying that because I have this red box. I'm not saying that, but if I objectively see these artworks, I think the red box includes better more better artwork. These are pretty. These in the yellow box they show only Bruce Lee in the covers, but here we have a lots of variety on these things. So what does the Mandarin cut include? Okay, there's kind of like bits and pieces overall, all around, like added dialogue. It can be only one word, only one, like, one extra shot, somebody walking in or something like that. But the major difference here in the Mandarin cut, it's 10 minutes longer than the previous cut, this one. So the major difference is, for instance, the opening fight where James Tien is kicking ass in the streets. It was drastically shortened down in this version because they wanted to do this new version because the Big Boss was such a fucking big hit in the Hong Kong cinema circuit. So the theater owners wanted to, they asked the company that, could you make it a shorter? If you could cut down like 10 minutes, so we could have one extra showing per day. I don't know how much how many showing that was, but that was the case. So it was not about censorship or anything at all like that. But they wanted to tone it down a little bit shorter, so they could run it an extra showing. It was cut down from 110 minutes to 100 minutes. Did I say 90 minutes previously? I meant 100 minutes. Yeah. So the major difference, now I start talking about that. Major difference here is the extended fight, opening fight, and then there's this scene where Bruce Lee is walking with James Tien after they have visited the boss. They're walking in this dark alley during the night, and then they get like crowded up with bad guys, and they try to run this kind of cart over them, and then both of these guys, they jump on the roof. I don't know how these guys can jump so high, but they do. That was one major scene, and the other major scene in this film, it was the, wait a second, I wrote it down. I have to see my notes here. Yeah, the opening fight, and then card dodging scene, and then there was this extra gore scene. I don't know, they probably did that to, you know, like to tone other people's fight, because Bruce Lee is not in that fight where James Tien is facing this factory owner, and the guy jumps over his head and slices with knife on the top of his head, and the blood starts pouring out. That was cut also from this regular version. And then the most amazing scene in the film, I was not expecting that, but when Bruce Lee finds the family dead, he's like, oh, motherfucker, I gotta kill everybody. He runs out from his apartment, and this regular version, he directly runs to the main bad guy's house and starts kicking ass with, and then he has a bag of crisps with him. Okay, in this version, Mandarin cut, Bruce Lee runs away from the house after seeing the family dead, and then he goes to the bordello. God damn, this guy, he knows he's gonna die. Last time, he wants to have some ladies. He wants to fuck for the last time. He runs to the bordello and gets a prostitute and then fucks her. And then he steals a bag of crisps from her and says bye-bye. And then he runs to the to the bad guy's apartment. Now, imagine that in some sort of like a Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger before he goes to Valverde. Before he steals the plane, imagine that Arnold Schwarzenegger, says Ray Dan Chong, hey, wait a minute, wait a little bit, I have something to do, and then he would get a prostitute and do his business, and then, only after that, he would go to Valverde. It was a nice scene, nice touch. I understand why is it there, because this Bruce Lee has been depicted in this film like a peasant guy, very shy guy. So he wants to experience one more time the warmth of a lady before he certainly dies. But he doesn't die. Spoilers. But yeah, I think Big Boss, I think it's a very good film. The fight scenes are very good, and you can clearly see that Bruce Lee's charisma is there. Man, this guy owns the screen. It is no wonder that this became like the biggest box office hit ever in Hong Kong. But it kind of stayed there for a while. It got a small release in the United States before Bruce Lee was famous. And then he became a superstar. Yeah. I also like, it's kind of like the film Big Boss kind of has this kind of playfulness to it, you know. It's not that serious film, and it got some funny moments and unintentionally funny moments as well. So I think I have seen it a lot of times, and I always like to revisit it. I would definitely give Big Boss, I would give 4 stars out of 5. I like it. And also the main theme, I didn't know this, but in the original Hong Kong version, there's a different music. But the version I am accustomed to see is the American version, where there is this Peter Thomas's music. So if you haven't heard it, it's a and I was surprised that this didn't have it, but the other version had the music, and so I thought, oh my god, they have changed it. But there's documentaries, man, there is documentaries up the ass in these things about the making of Bruce Lee film and whatnot. So in the edition of Mandarin Cut, we got 2 brand new feature commentaries, one by David Desser and one by Brandon Bentley. I watched the film with the Brandon Bentley commentary, and it was very informative and very enthusiastic about the film. And Totuus Elokuvasta asks one more time and for the first time. Well, it can be also for the first time, but I kinda assume that Bruce Lee had some pussy when he went to the party, because he comes home in the morning and wakes up next to a lady. If I'm not completely, if my memory serves me right. The regular version cover is better, says Remy. Big Boss is my favorite from Bruce Lee. Don't know actually why, but there's some special charm in it. Nice to see the extra long version from it finally. Yeah, I think you're right, Halloween Jack. Like I said, it has some sort of like a kind of naivety and playfulness to it, which I think the later Bruce Lee films, they don't have the similar quality. I'm not saying that this is the best Bruce Lee film, but I'm getting there. Which is the best? But yeah, it was very nice to see finally this Mandarin gut, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. But yeah, what did disappoint me is that this don't include either this famous axe to the head, saw to the head scene. It was filmed, but the story goes that it was cut by the Hong Kong censorship guys, and it was shown only like previewings of the film and for the censorship pro, but no version includes the saw to the head scene, even though there's still images of that scene. And there was actually a documentary covering this topic on this disc. It says, not quite the biggest box. It was the video essay by this Brandon Bentley investigating the scenes which are still lost in this Mandarin cut. Very informative. I liked it quite a bit. And also there was another scene which probably was shot, but it's not on this film. When Bruce Lee goes to the bordello at the end, there was supposed to be then in the next room like this comedic scene that the people are listening when Bruce is fucking. But it's not in any version. I would definitely like to see that scene also. Not a big martial arts fan, but I recently picked up the Criterion Bruce Lee box set, and I was really shocked how much I enjoyed Big Boss. Yeah, it is good, ain't it? It is very good. Yeah. Hey, another set of extras. There was newly uncovered, deleted and extended scenes with optional commentary by Bentley. Basically, they are the same scenes that are in the Mandarin cut, but this guy Brandon Bentley like opens up a little bit, whatever cut, and what is the history behind that? Me, for instance, I love this stuff. I love this kind of like a censorship-based like documentaries. And then Bruce Lee versus Peter Thomas. You remember he was the maker of the music for this film. A short video essay about the music for the English version. Now this is when it hit me. These versions have different music, but I really prefer the Western version music by Peter Thomas over this music which is in this original cut of the film. I'm not gonna go every scene. I'm not gonna go over every extra what is on this disc, because there is so hell of a lot of extras. And if you have a box as big as this, you gotta have some overlapping issues on these extras. You got archival interviews, you got making ofs, several documentaries. They are covering many times the same things. So I have earmarked these in my notes, that the extras that I want to mention for you guys. And this Mandarin cut disc only included one extra that I have noted here. its axis of English. There's even a documentary about describing the dubbing of these martial arts films, covering who are really the voices behind all these kinda crappily dubbed Asian kung fu movies. And I would never expect to see a documentary on this kind of very niche issue. But here it is, man. Here it freaking is. How much that Criterion box costs? Go see Amazon.com. I'm pretty sure that the Criterion box, however, is region A locked. Or is it released in UK? Not sure about that. Okay, hey, moving on. Then we have another excellent looking cover. We have Bruce Lee, Fist of Fury. Oh man. Let's see inside. The original beautiful Chinese artwork and one 4K Ultra HD disc here. Now, in Fist of Fury, Bruce Lee plays this guy who goes to his karate school when he's the sensei, or whichever is the karate instructor. I don't know. Is it even karate? I'm sorry. I don't know all these names for these, martial arts, different types of martial arts. Anyway, he goes to his previous school. The sensei has been killed, and the evil Japanese occupants are behind this. This is a period piece. This is the only Bruce Lee period film. And by period, I mean that this story is set during the World War II, when the Japanese were occupying parts of China and also Hong Kong. So this film is kind of like a patriotic film, because Bruce Lee goes on a rampage against the Japanese, and he really is defending the Chinese culture, and he really is fighting this like Japanese racism that they conduct on the Chinese people. For instance, you remember the scene where Bruce Lee goes to park and it says no dogs and no Chinese allowed, and then he's like, the guard of this park is like and Bruce is like, oh, and then this one Japanese guy goes like, hey, bend over and walk like a dog, and so maybe you can enter the park with me. And then Bruce Lee goes apeshit, beats the fuck out of that poor guy, and then he breaks the sign. So clearly this is very patriotic and very anti-racist film. And yeah, I think the fight scenes in this film are much better choreographed than in The Big Boss, and the production value is much higher. And the film includes the first nunchaku scene ever filmed. Probably, is it ever? But at least in Bruce Lee film, if it's not first time ever on film, it's gotta be one of the first times. And at least I'm pretty sure that this is the best damn nunchaku scene that nobody ever saw on film. I mean, Bruce Lee beats up like 20 guys with nunchucks in this Japanese karate school. Very good martial art fights, and the final fight also with this guy, the Western guy who is playing this Russian karate expert called Robert Parker, who is this Russian karate expert. I think it's one of the better classic martial arts sequences ever filmed. However, in my opinion, I think I like Big Boss more, because I think the Big Boss has kind of like I said, it has more playful tone to it, and also much more organic feeling to it, because this feels kind of like artificial, because it is mostly shot on the studio lot. I mean, it looks like more like a Shaw Brothers film. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think I prefer the Big Boss like this kind of like a almost documentary like low budget realism over the Fist for like theatricality of the Fist of Fury. Now, clearly, I'm not saying that this is a bad film. It's an excellent film. It's an excellent karate film. But you know, it's like this, the studio setting and the strong patriotic setting of this is a little bit off-putting for me. But the fight scenes, they are amazing. And Bruce Lee is a fucking badass on this thing as well. And this was a major box office hit back in the day when it was first released. And it was even bigger hit than The Big Boss. And this really nailed Bruce Lee, a household name in Hong Kong cinema. But the break in the Western territories was yet still to come for Bruce Lee. And the picture quality is much better than in Big Boss, because like the way Big Boss was made, you know, like kind of this guerrilla style filmmaking, but this was shot on studio, so the picture quality is a little bit better. Big Boss was clearly the best I have ever seen Big Boss ever on video, and I have seen it on DVD, on Blu-ray, and on I have seen every Bruce Lee film on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray, and these things, each one of these 4Ks in this, they're highly superior to every other every previous release, of course. Arrow Video has done it again. Yeah. But Fist of Fury, I think I would rate this 3.5 stars, this film. And yeah. What do you think of Fist of Fury? And the extras on Fist of Fury, we had also Brandon Bentley commentary and Jonathan Clemens. I don't remember, did I watch the commentary on that? Probably not. And then two brand new feature, Legend of the Dragon, newly filmed 80-minute overview of Lee's life and career by film critic, historian Tony Ryans. That was some kind of British guy, and I got the sense that he didn't like anybody except Bruce Lee, and he was like, talking trash about everybody Bruce Lee ever worked with, especially Robert Close, which I will talk very soon. And then Visions of Fury, a new feature of Bruce Lee's collaboration with Golden Harvest and Law Way. Now, this documentary kind of shed light to them what really happened behind the scenes when Bruce Lee was, making collaboration with Law Way. I forgot to mention, this was directed by the same guy, Law Way, then it was who also directed the Big Boss as well. So Law Way directed the two first Bruce Lee films. Yeah. Interesting documentary, this Visions of Fury. And then we had a bunch of archive interviews with co-stars Nora Miao, Riki Hashimoto, Jun Katsumura, and Yan Wolf. Yeah, I watched everything on this, and probably they were lifted from early Made in Hong Kong DVD release. Probably. So you like Furious Wisting, eh? I enjoy Furious Wisting. And Rauli likes Furious Ass Finger. Alright, guys. Red or yellow box, you have a good collection. Yeah, hey, it's not about color. The contents is the same. Of course. Says Remy. Okay. The content is the king. Then, okie dokie, hey, the first and only film Bruce Lee ever directed completely. Bruce Lee, The Way of the Dragon. Now, this might be one of the most famous martial arts films ever made because of the end fight. I think Enter the Dragon is even more famous, but I think this is the end fight in Way of the Dragon is more memorable than in Enter the Dragon. But Way of the Dragon comes in this beautiful artwork. depicting Chuck Norris at the Colosseum fighting Bruce Lee. And then the original artwork inside there, nice stuff, and one 4K Ultra HD disc. Okay, so Bruce Lee, again, he's starring like this peasant guy who goes to Rome to help out with his relatives in with their restaurant, because there has been some hassles. Some local mafia guys there try to smoke these Chinese people out of the Rome. But Bruce Lee arrives there and starts showing off his karate skills, and soon enough the mafia guys, they know that they need some more muscles, and they hire this Colt, played by Chuck Norris, who comes to challenge Chuck Norris, and they fight at the Colosseum to the fucking death. It's an amazing end fight. It's got so much influence from the spaghetti westerns. The music, all these, small glimpses when they are observing each other, and the fight itself. Bruce Lee is adapting to the methods of to the moves of the superior challengers. It's not all about the power or skill. It's also about adapting, and that was the philosophy of Bruce Lee as well. But it's not all rose and ice cream, because I think the film opens very slowly, and this long version we have on this, I actually prefer the western cut, which omits nearly all humoristic scenes in the airport. For instance, if you're not fan of Jackie Chan humoristic scenes, you are not gonna like these. I mean, these are not even comedy. It's just weird scenes where Bruce Lee is scaring this kid who is eating ice cream and ordering soup in the restaurant and going to the bathroom, and I don't know, man. I don't know. But like I said, the fight scene, double nunchaku scene, stick fighting scene, and the Chuck Norris scene, these are absolute classic martial arts scenes. So they are what the people come to see when they see Bruce Lee making a movie. And also I have to say that now when I watch this on 4K Ultra HD, I gotta tell you that the location of shots in this film, they're very sloppily shot. Like, most of the shots are out of focus, and the camera is shaking all around. So it has something to do with this Japanese cinematographer who shot most of the Shaw Brothers film and was very famous about shooting film. But he was alone operating the camera in Rome, and he was already an old guy. So I don't think it's definitely not his best work. But overall, I'm not complaining. It's a classic karate film, and also the music by Joseph Koh, it really reminds me of, spaghetti westerns. The opening credits are amazing. Even the style of the opening credits reminds me of something Sergio Leone would make. And it's not too far-fetched to say that this is, if Sergio Leone would have made a martial arts film, it would probably be much like this. Enter the Dragon is still my favorite. He reminds me of good old days, says Remy. Only movie when Chuck gets his ass kicked, I guess. Well, there's another film, Slaughter in San Francisco. There, Chuck gets also his ass kicked. Before the pandemic, there were double feature here in Helsinki, The Way of the Dragon and Bloodsport. That was a great night. Oh my god, those. Also in Tampere, I have seen Way of the Dragon on the big screen. It was like a very limited release. I saw it in Niagara, and I was surprised that print even had a Finnish subtitles in it. Yeah, it was a great experience. He was going to the bathroom like 3 times in the film. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe that is something like a Chinese sense of humor. Hey, I'm going to the bathroom. Hey, I laugh to the bathroom jokes, but you need to have something more than guy going to the bathroom. Now, going to the bathroom itself is not necessarily funny, unless you have a exploding diarrhea coming up. I don't know. Well, maybe we are sticking to the wrong subject. Hey, I would definitely rate Way of the Dragon 4 stars, even if I complain about the humoristic scenes and the sloppy cinematography. But the ending is so classic. I will rate this 4 stars, and the music is classic, and the Bruce Lee is a badass. He's a classic fighter, badass. So 4 stars from me. I know you're a great screenwriter. If you could write a story for a Bruce Lee film, what would that be? Well, let me think about that for a while. Or should I start writing it right now? Okay, think about this. Bruce Lee in outer space. Bruce Lee goes to Mars. He would star in Total Recall. Oh, come on, these people need air. Okay. So the extras on this disc. 2 brand new commentaries, also Frank Jeng and Michael Worth, and one by Brandon Bentley. Didn't listen to the. Unfortunately, I claimed that I have watched all, but come on, nobody can expect that I need to also listen every commentary on this thing as well. The Way of the Camera, a new documentary looking at Lee's filmmaking and fighting method in his directorial debut. From this documentary, I learned about this Japanese cinematographer and the camera operator. And then Malisa Longo, Meet the Italian Beauty. There's this one random scene where this Italian babe, picks up Bruce Lee from the street, and then when she comes to the room naked, Bruce Lee goes, and runs away. So there was an interview from that lady, and then it hit me, hey, come on, I have seen this lady in lots of other giallo films, but I really never have I thought about that so deeply. And then gotta be one of the weirdest extras I have ever seen. The Scottish Soldier Meets Dragon, a newly filmed interview with on-set observer John Young. Some guy who went observing when they were shooting, this film. Well, I guess it's nice to have some fresh interviews, but I think that was very random, but yeah, hey, he had some good things to say about the shooting when he was looking at it, so never mind that. And then we have a bunch of archival interviews from John Ben, Bob Wall, Wang Ik-sik, and production managers Chaplin Chan. I love the name, Chaplin Chan, and Louis Sit. Yeah, I watched them all and had a great time, even with this archive interviews. Bruce Lee in outer space, going 3 times to the toilet with exploding diarrhea. Now that's a movie I want to see. Could somebody make that with CGI? Every movie franchise needs one outer space movie. That's a damn right. Damn truth. Damn God honest truth. Total rebirth. Bruce Lee in space fighting Jason fucking Voorhees. Now, that's a movie. That's a movie right there. Okay, then Enter the Dragon. Alright. So, hey guys, I'm sorry, but I have to skip this one because you know why I'm doing this. You goddamn well know I'm doing this. Because there's a 4K Ultra HD special edition coming out from Warner Brothers, and it is coming. It was September, so it's only month away from this one. And there's really not much to say of this film, this release, because the contents is basically the same than in this 30th anniversary release, even though we get this very nice artwork here, and we get also the Chinese artwork, and this is a Blu-ray, so if you're confused, it's a Blu-ray. So the 4K restoration is only coming up. So I kinda skipped this one. So, but I will talk to you later about the Enter the Dragon when I finally see this 4K master. But long story short, I think Enter the Dragon is an excellent martial arts film. It's clearly the Bruce Lee's best film. If you think about the traditional quality of the film, clearly Enter the Dragon is Bruce Lee's best film. It's most better, best made film. It has the best plot, best everything, best cinematography, best fights, but not as iconic fights maybe. But yeah, it's very sad that he passed on, because it was a major super hit around the world, and had he not died, I think Bruce Lee would have made some great martial arts pictures, and maybe even some other types of films too. But yeah, pass on that. What is the differences with the Japanese cut was on the which film you are referring to? You're probably referring to Way of the Dragon. So not that much. It has some different opening credits, and was there some text, different ending credits and different ending music in the Japanese cut. Yeah, forgot to mention that. Great thing to the point you asked. These deleted scenes, different openings and endings, they are as their separate versions, separate deleted scenes on this disc, but not that much to mention here. I guess in the future we can see AI generated martial arts movie which has Bruce Lee versus Van Damme versus Seagull versus some random big name in space. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, doke. So let's move ahead, and okay, Game of Death. Now this is a big subject, because this box set contains the traditional version of Game of Death. Then it includes Game of Death, the alternative versions. Then it includes the final Game of Death. And then it even includes the Game of Death 2. So what the hell is going on? Okay, let me explain to you what the hell is all this. Why is there so many games of death? Oh. Okay, first up, this was released 5 years after Bruce passed on, and it was, the film. Bruce Lee started to make Game of Death, but then he got call from Warner Brothers. So you want to make Enter the Dragon with us? And Bruce said, "Fuck yeah, I wanna do that." And then he kind of left this project open. But before that, he managed to shoot about 2 hours worth of footage for the film called Game of Death. And then he didn't have any script. He didn't have anything. Only what they had is bunch of scenes that were shot in this kind of pagoda setting. So in comes Robert Close 5 years after Bruce's death, and Golden Harvest asked him, "Could you finish this film for us?" And so he took what he made from these 2 hours, and basically it was 3 fight scenes. And he inserted these things in the end of the movie, but he didn't have any story. So they cooked up this kind of like a very lame agent spy espionage story where the gangsters, they shoot Bruce Lee, which was kind of like eerily similar to the way Brandon Lee died. these gangsters shoot Bruce Lee on the set, and he is wounded, and he is presumed dead. But then he goes to some sort of plastic surgeon operation and changes his appearance, and then he takes revenge on these gangsters who shot him. This film is notorious about the way it exploits Bruce Lee. Is it a homage or is it a exploitation? Go figure. I think in my book this is an exploitation film, because this Bruce Lee was played by two separate stunt guys in this film, and in one fucking picture this, in one scene even Bruce Lee is talking, so they used cardboard cut up of his face to hide the other actor's face, and then every time Bruce Lee does something, he is shot from behind, or when he's talking, he's not on screen, or then he is in the darkness. So I was wondering when I was watching this, how bizarre if you wouldn't know anything about this film, and you would, okay, this is some sort of action film. How confusing it must have been. Like, why is this shot like this? Why is this guy constantly, his appearance is changing? It's not fooling anybody. It's not Bruce Lee, let me tell you. And they used some outtakes from Way of the Dragon as well, and in the final scene, obviously he's the Bruce Lee in the final scene, but the appearance of this guy is clearly different from scene to scene, so what the hell is going on in this thing? But let's see. Excellent artwork once again, displaying Bruce Lee and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The original artwork. Nice. Nice. And nice. Gleaming TV says, I thought you were getting the yellow box. Yes, I was thinking that myself too, but when the box arrived, I was, hey, it's the red box. I'd ordered the yellow box, but then I checked out the Arrow Video web store. No, I ordered the red box. But I don't mind. Very nice Bruce Lee's box. Yes, indeed. This is a very nice Bruce Lee box. Yeah. Okay. It's very difficult to film to, rate, because I think, okay, there's a couple of cool action scenes, especially the fight in the locker room, and then in this version, in the alternative version, the Mandarin and the Japanese cut of this film, there's this extra greenhouse fight scene, which is not present in this version. Also in this version I have on this, the Western version didn't include this greenhouse fight, and also this version, the alternative version, is 10 minutes shorter. So, and this greenhouse fight replaces some of the plot development in the Western version. The greenhouse scene, it was directed by Sammo Hung, and it's a good fight scene. But if you talk about Game of Death, maybe the end fight in the pagoda where there's these three guys that Bruce Lee beats up. Now that is the scene you probably remember when you have watched Game of Death. And the iconic Bruce Lee yellow sport suit with black stripes on it, and beating up a couple of guys, and then beating up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Excellent stuff. But it's difficult to say what kind of a film that really would have been if Bruce Lee had actually been able to make this completely. But I think you can forget about the Game of the basically all other that happens in this film, except, okay, I gotta tell one plus scene for this. Amidst the couple of good fights, you get this amazing John Barry score. I think this score is so much like James Bond film, and I have actually listened to it from YouTube. It's an excellent soundtrack. And also the opening credits, they so much remind me of James Bond film. So it they like kind of like very corny. They make me laugh, the scenes. So overall, it's a very mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag, but overall, as a like a bullshit movie, it's kind of entertaining. So to see all the scenes where how they faked that Bruce Lee is not actually in the film, like it feels like a very much like a comedy film from time to time, or most of the time. Yeah. Okay, but then we need to address this. So you remember the alternative versions? It includes different scenes, the greenhouse scenes. But then, oh my god, the final game of death. So what the hell is this? So the Arrow Video actually went to the vaults and they find every piece of film that Bruce Lee ever shot for this game of death thing. So imagine this. This is a documentary containing every scene Bruce Lee filmed, even the outtakes. And then there's this commentary over the scenes, which describes the notes Bruce Lee made. They were found a lot later than Game of Death was released. They actually found more footage and they found the notes of Bruce Lee. And then Arrow Video has produced this final Game of Death. It shows every scene Bruce Lee shot, outtakes and all, and this commentary explains in very much detail what was the original purpose of the film. Like I said, there was no script made, but the notes said that Bruce Lee figured out that film was about this guy who comes to Hong Kong, and this criminal organization kidnaps his little brother and sister, was it? And then they make Bruce Lee to go on this very dangerous secret mission to attack this jungle base, which is in some impenetrable jungle, and go to this pagoda, which is like this Korean temple with 5 floors, and in each floor there's a different opponent, and at the top of this pagoda is some sort of like a treasure. I don't think Bruce Lee even had figured out what this treasure would be. And then, like, Bruce Lee goes with these 2 guys for this dangerous mission to obtain something from the top of this building to regain his family. And the Game of Death does not include these 2 helper guys who are with Bruce Lee, James Tien, and this other Japanese karate dude. And this thing includes the long missing scene, this log fight. I used to think that this log fight is something that they're fighting on a log or something, but no, it's not at all like this. It's like this one guy grabs a log and tries to beat this one guy up with this. The first opponent we see in the Game of Death. And then this even includes this final Game of Death, even includes the edited version of all this material, and they even shot this kind of like an opening sequence for this film that never exists. And at the end of this documentary, they show this assembly cut, and very interesting. Me as a movie maker, I really enjoyed this documentary. It's 4 hours long, but I really enjoyed this. I think since it was one of the better features of this box set, and I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing how nowadays they can go back and do these kind of things, and it's a very important piece of cinematic history, especially the history of martial arts cinema. Hey brother, hope all is good your way. Hey, sure, why not? Everything's fine. I remember watching Bruce Lee as a kid, imitating his moves and repeating his war scream. Me too, man. And I do that even as an adult. What? No beer? No beer today. No beer. Unless somebody says super chat, beer chat. Okay, that's it from Game of Deaths. I strongly recommend, if you get this box, even though it's a 4-hour stretch, I strongly recommend the final game. It's an interesting. I think it's the one of the more interesting documentaries I have seen for a long time. Hello RC, welcome to the chat. And if that would not be enough documentaries, we have still this on this last disc we have Bruce Lee, the Man and the Legend. Man is the Legend and the Legend. 2 90-minute documentaries about the life of and death of Bruce Lee. One of these, the first one of these were made right after Bruce Lee's death, and the second was made in the 1984. Yeah. Okay, both of these are good documentaries, but like I said, they might contain some overlapping issues, you know, because I mean, how many documentaries can you make from the career of one guy? Yeah. But interesting documentaries, and there was also in the archival, I think the archival interviews, I think Bob, who was this guy, this stunt guy? I forget his name, but I think he had the best anecdotes to say about the life of Bruce Lee when he was explaining that Bruce Lee and Steve McQueen were good friends, and they went for a Ferrari. They took a Ferrari, Steve McQueen's Ferrari, and went for a ride, and that didn't end well. And also, Steve McQueen used to bust Bruce Lee's balls and, you know, like fuck with him all the time. And when Bruce Lee sent Steve McQueen his poster of the Way of the Dragon, and Steve McQueen signed it like, "For my best fan, love, Steve," and sent it back to him. And then Bruce Lee called, "You dirty rat! I'm now a movie star too! It was for you! I didn't ask for your autograph." And Steve McQueen, he said that Steve McQueen was rolling on the ground and laughing his ass off when Bruce Lee called, "You dirty rat!" Yeah. Okay, what else is in this box? So, we have this huge booklet. Let's see. This includes the essays of each movie of this in this box, and also these essays include interesting sequence. Name that tune, which describes the music and different versions of the musics in these films, and also further viewing, which explains from each of these movies, you know, the clones or supposedly sequels that were made for these films. Interesting stuff. And this is for, like I said, each and every one of these films. And the Game of the Death sequence and the Game of the Death sequence 2 is the longer parts of this. And also Bruce Lee, the Man and the Legend, it's the writing about the documentary. So clearly this is a huge set, and this kind of like is the pinnacle of this set. And also we get this video release. It was the BBFC, Bruce Lee against the BBFC, the British censorship, and all kinds of video release, notes about the video release. So it's a 180-page booklet, so there's a lot to go through. It's a 200-page booklet, so there's a lot to go in this set. Yeah. In movie DC Cap was funny Bruce Lee plot. I have seen DC Cap, but I don't remember there was a Bruce Lee plot. Okie doke. Then we have some lobby cards or photographs. I'll show you these two while we are here. So Nice. I don't actually know what's the purpose of these. What would I do with these? Maybe I taped them to the ceiling where I sleep and watch them at nights. Maybe. And then we have this Bruce Lee is Dynamite packaging. So what's here? Come on, goddammit. So here we have the lobby cards for these films. I'll show them to you. Game of Death, Big Boss. But no saw to the head lobby guard. Fist of Fury. Way of the Dragon. So there are plenty of these. Plenty of these. Game of Death 2, of course. Of course. Yeah. And last but not least in this box, there's a double-sided poster. The film that made Bruce Lee Big Boss. The film that makes the action. Then on the other side, Bruce Lee, The Way of the Dragon, Nora Meo, Chuck Norris, Robert Wall, Wong In-sik. Great stuff. So overall, I think this box is definitely gonna be, if not the best, it's gonna be one of the better releases of this year, easily. If you have seen through the whole this thing when I was presenting this, you really can see that there's lots of material in here, lots of effort has been put into this thing, and the picture quality, they are probably they are not gonna be looking any better than these ever again. Yeah. If I had to pick 3 of the best Bruce Lee films, maybe it would be the first one would be Enter the Dragon, and I think the second one would probably be The Big Boss, and then Way of the Dragon. Maybe I would rate them like that. What would be your order of Bruce Lee? What is your favorite Bruce Lee film? I think Chinese Connection for me. Yeah, I just told you. Hello VideoTalk, Rafa Filandro. Hello Rafa. What's going on? Hey, if there's somebody new in the house, make sure you subscribe the channel and hit the like button also if you have enjoyed my Bruce Lee retrospective. And if you got interested in this box, in the description field there's a link to get this red box from Amazon if you want this in your collection. Also, it's available on Blu-ray versions if you don't have the 4K player yet. So at least this is the strongest possible recommendation from me. Well, maybe if you're not the fan of martial arts films, then this box definitely, you probably don't need this box. But if you are definitely gonna be needing this box in your collection. Rafa Philander loves Arrow Video, the Blu-ray titles. Okay, do you have any questions in this from this Bruce Lee box? Any questions at all? Any comments at all? If not, I will salute you and wish you a great of the rest of your day. And maybe next week I will finally have the Emanuele box, Around the World Emanuele box. So That's gonna be a big unboxing then. It got noticed me that last Monday they asked me for this declarance of customs and I forgot to answer it. Only on Thursday I remembered to answer it, so hopefully it will arrive to me soon. Subjective Perspective Collective says, first is Chinese Connection, 10 Enter the Dragon, and third one is The Way of the Dragon. It's not a bad list at all. And I am definitely looking forward to the Enter the Dragon 4K disc set. Definitely. Hey, anybody else got this box set and anybody else ordered the Enter the Dragon box? The 4K box. Rafa Philando asks, are you a book and graphic novel comic book collector too as physical media fan? No, I am not. I have some comics. I have Aliens comics and something else, but no, I couldn't tell you that I am a collector of comic books. I would like to see the directors of Cut of Way of the Dragon. Chuck Norris would win the match. I don't know who would have directed that. I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee would have not approved of that. I have the Criterion set. Just wondering if I should get this set too. Well, that kind of depends. Subjective Perspective Collective. Kind of. Are you a big fan of Bruce Lee? Because if you are, you probably want to see the Game of Death, the final cut, and you probably want to see the Mandarin cut of Big Boss. But if it's not so big deal for you, Bruce Lee, then maybe you are very good to go with that Criterion box set. Because I don't have the Criterion box set, but I hear it's very good. So it is up to you, my man. What do you think? By the way, and as an added bonus, here is the Finnish videotape of Way of the Dragon. This is cut like 8 minutes. And I do believe that this is the same master that was cut by the BBFC. Can't be sure about that, but I believe it is so. And also we have Panoksena Kuolema. This is also cut like 2 minutes or something. It's a Finnish X-rental tape. Enter the Dragon was never released on video. I mean, it was in the 2000s, but not in the 80s. It was not released here on video. Alright. So maybe it's my time to say bye-bye to you guys, and hey, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe the channel and remember to hit the like button if you like VideoTalk and all crazy adventures we have on this channel. Hey. Thanks. Yes, I think it would be worth getting to you now you explained that. Yeah, nice to hear.
Video.
There's a link below if you want to use that.
Video space. Video talk. Talking video talk.
Have you watched the Swedish Hem video version? How bad they were cut? No, I have not. It is on my do list.
Talking video talk. We're talking video talk. We're talking video talk. We're talking video talk. We're talking video talk.
I think Bruce played the drums at the beginning of Way of the Dragon. I remember having a single record in my collection. Well, no, I don't think he did. At least in this version.
Talking video talk. We're talking video talk. We're talking video talk. We're talking video talk. We're talking video talk. Talking video talk. Talking video talk.
Yeah.
Talking video talk.
Bitch, we're talking with our boy Willie. You know he's
Hey,
got the shit.
have a good one too.
Real hard, I know
Subjective
you'll never
perspective.
get sick of it. He's
Perspective
got
collective.
that tea
That's a
on,
difficult
got
name.
that long sexy hair. You know he's about to take his shirt off, his abs so bare. He's got a six pack. They call him Suburban Commando. He's a big motherfucker and he's dropping it low. He's about to slap that ass, baby, about to slap it so hard. You ever seen this motherfucker running naked through your backyard?
Talking video talk. We're talking
Video talk.
Thank you, Arsi. Good night to you. I will have a great vacation.
You best subscribe. You best subscribe or die.
You best subscribe or die to the video talk. Bye bye. See you.